Welcome back, MTG Joe here. I got invited to the early access stream for Magic the Gathering Wilds of Eldraine. This is coming up on Thursday, August 31st, so in a couple days. So we're going to be showcasing a bunch of cool cards from the set, thanks to Wizards, and I'm putting out together some deck lists, some ideas, some first thoughts, things I want to try out. The format is standard best of one, and then we have drafts, stuff like that. But it's really about kind of showcasing some of the new cards and seeing what works, what doesn't, and kind of see what new standards like. Notably, we're not getting rotation, so it's seeing if any of these new cards are powerful enough to make their impact to the format. And we're going to be kind of day one brews, ideas, things to try out. If you have deck list ideas, suggestions, if you disagree with anything I included, let me know in the comments. If you have some deck lists as well, drop them in. Try to get to as much as possible live on YouTube that day. So we are going to do today a Rakdos aggro list. And there's a couple cards I want to try out in this shell. They might not make it to the final version, but we're going to test them out and see how it works. The kind of idea of this deck is I wanted to have like a tokeny kind of recursive value that takes advantage of a couple cards. And the card that was like most interested in the shell is Tangled Colony. It's a 2-mana 3/2, can't block. So we go in aggro. When it dies, you create X 1/1 black rat tokens with this creature can't block, where X is the damage dealt to it this turn. So this is a way to kind of push through some damage. It's a creature that could kind of get in there. It doesn't really want to get blocked by your opponent, but if it dies, you're at least getting 2 tokens out of it. So it almost replaces its power on its own. So pairing that with like Urbrask Forge, which can make recurring tokens each turn. These are pretty above rate stat things that we can sack to Nixus for cruelty. So lots of 2-mana 3 power. So it's a nice curve in any case. So we get some value there. Blood Tithe is just a good card, makes us tokens, and then can be removal. Tenacious Underdog comes back for recursive value. And the other kind of idea I was thinking was with Braids, you can sacrifice any of these creatures, they come back, they make tokens, stuff of that nature. With Tangled Colony, it's based on damage, not dying, so something worth noting there. But if you make like a bunch of rat tokens, you can kind of sack them and get card advantage that way, or deal damage. So it kind of puts your opponent on a pace. Like the Forge and Braids plays really nice, because every turn you're going to sack the thing anyways to Forge. So with Braids, you kind of get that additional value. You have Corrupted Conviction, kind of the Village Rites, the new port of it, same effect. 1 mana, sack a creature, draw 2 cards. Lots of tokens and stuff like that in this deck we can sack. And then we have Hopeless Nightmare, a 1 mana enchantment. When it enters the battlefield, each opponent discards a card and loses 2 life. When it's put into the graveyard, you get to scry 2. And then with Braids, you can sacrifice it and get some value there as well. So it's like shock, discard on 1, that then has extra value for Braids afterwards. Go for the Throat and Pylon as our removal spells, just since we can make likely a wide board. And the other card I was interested in trying out is Decadent Dragon. So it is got a lot of vibes of Goldspan, but missing some other tech. So 4 mana 4/4 flying, makes a treasure on attack. Not when it gets targeted, doesn't double the mana from treasures. So things to note. The treasures can be some things that you can sack to Braids, but also fixes your mana, helps you ramp. Trample, where Goldspan didn't, so it gives you an evasive creature that can pump through damage. It also has the expensive Taste Adventure mode on it, so you can exile 2 cards of the target player's library face down. You may look and play them as long as they remain exiled. So more ways to kind of get card advantage in an aggressive shell. So these are kind of the ideas I was thinking. Graveyard Trespasser could be something you could play. This is a deck that would likely want Meat Hook, but just because your own things are dying, lots of tokens. I don't think you have enough to support an Anvil build in this particular instance, but thinking of something like this, you might want to go in the end and go a little bit more aggressive on the curve, get rid of the Dragon maybe, but I want to see how good this Dragon actually is. The idea of Braids might not be as good as the ability in the end. You might just want some more 1-drops, Evolve Sleeper, stuff of that nature, but we're going to test this out, see how it goes. I'm interested in these dual color aggro decks, just given that you have a lot of the kind of dual lands, the 3 dual lands in these color pairs. You also have access to the Myrex and this color pairing as well. So let me know what you think, what your thoughts are on the cards, the selection kind of strategy, what you're most excited to build as well. So we'll be live, as I mentioned, on August 31st. So swing by, come say hi, come check out the new cards in action. And as always, I'll put them all up on my YouTube so you can take a look as well. In any case, thanks for watching. Hope you have a great one and stay safe out there.